Alpha Book Club. In case you're just joining us, this is our online interactive book club that you can join right from your computer. I'm Rachel Heine.
Woo!
I'm very excited about today and every day, but mostly book club days. Joining me as always is Geek and Sundries, and I imagine we're going to find out Gryffindor's Hector Navarro.
Oh, Gryffindor! Can't wait to find out my Patronus, guys. Put it in. Let's figure it out. What is it? What's my Horcrux?
You're getting way ahead of yourself.
Oh, okay,
Just because you've seen the movies doesn't mean you know the books. Ooh, Maude Garrett is serving detention with Professor McGonagall. So joining us tonight is Mothership's Amy Vorpal. Welcome back, Amy.
Hello, very happy to be here. I have been, and we can get into it, but first off, I was Gryffindor, then I took the quiz again, I was Hufflepuff, then I took it again, I was Gryffindor. This will be my 4th time taking the quiz, so we'll see.
Ooh, I'm very excited. Welcome to our Alpha community. We can't wait to get into today's show. We are reading, finally, Harry Potter
Yay!
and the Sorcerer's and or Philosopher's Stone.
That's very nice. That's very diplomatic. I like that. Okay.
Well, I actually, after last week, we talked to Maude about it, which, did you know in Australia they actually have houses?
In school.
In school, and you win points and stuff?
I did. I knew that boarding schools.
You have like sort of a different upbringing. And you
I did have
traveled
a different upbringing.
So
I grew up in, it was called an expatriate school. And we didn't have houses or anything like that, but there were definitely people who would come in for about 6 months and leave again because their parents were working there and then moved on. So I knew that was a thing. I also dated an Aussie for a while. So there you go. Humble brag, no big deal. Nice. I landed in Aussie for at least 3 months.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right. Down under.
Down under.
So, we're super excited because if you've been with us since the beginning of book club, we have been waiting to read Harry Potter because Hector, though he has seen the films, which won't surprise you, he has never read this book before.
That's true.
Or any of them.
That's true.
I didn't know that.
I am loving it. It's so good. It's so great.
I've forgotten so much because I was a one-time reader. I never went back and read. And when I read them, it was definitely, years ago.
Yeah,
and
how old were you when you read it?
I read it probably I think it came out in 98. I think I probably read it 2 years later. Like, I think that was when the hype train started, so I think that would have been 2000.
And still before the first movie came out.
And so I was 15. Well, definitely, yeah.
Because the first movie was 01, is what we talked about last week.
Yeah.
So everybody, it seems like in the world except me, experienced this with their own imagination first and then went to go see the movies.
Yeah, and I was thrilled.
I feel like if you were a kid, if you were between the ages of like 11, the age that they are, and older, because a lot of adults read it. I think the woman who was my friend's mom who gave it to me, I'm pretty sure she read it first and then gave it to me. It was like, you will love this.
It was my cousins who recommended it to us, and Jenny, my twin sister, who's way better at reading. She read 70 books last year. Like, she's one of those like readers, and she recommended it to me, and I remember being like, come on, this is like children's
kid stuff. Yeah.
And then you read it and you're like, oh. But yeah, going back and taking this journey again, I already told you, I read up to the point, I started from the beginning, read up to this point, and I have forgotten what is in the brown paper package that they robbed from somebody. I've forgotten who even robs it.
What?
Oh no, Hagrid gets it. Never mind. I just forgot who was trying to rob it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I remember. You mean the thing? Wait.
No, don't just.
Yeah, I don't. I kind of don't want to.
Oh, okay. I remember.
Okay, so hold on. So if anyone hasn't read it before, you're not alone. Hector hasn't read it either. So we don't want to do any spoilers. Although if you like Nerdist and Geek and Sundry and Alpha, chances are you have either seen the movie or read the book. But if you haven't, we'll try to keep it spoiler free.
Okay.
But people in the comments are talking about what Patronus they have, which is from a later book, which house they're sorted into. But the first section that we read last time is basically kind of getting into Harry's world, getting the background, very little background of Voldemort. You know who. He's this evil, mysterious,
who
Hitler type.
Dumbledore is not afraid of at all.
Who Dumbledore's not afraid of, and in fact, they say that Voldemort is only afraid of Dumbledore to this point.
Yep.
That Harry Potter is a famous kid.
Yes.
Who somehow, some way, stopped you know who.
Yeah.
when he was
Infant.
just a wee
And
baby.
you know what I also forgot about was her humor. Jk Rowling's
Yeah.
humor is delicious and
Yes.
delightful.
Yeah.
Especially
Good bits.
in this first book when it hasn't been dark yet. It
It's
hasn't
not- yeah.
turned.
It's
It's
not
like, oh
devastating.
Dudley, what an idiot. Instead of like, oh my God, they're dead.
Yes, that's true.
You know that humor.
It gets really dark, and it evolves in a way that I find interesting because so many people were 11 or 12
Yeah.
when they read the book or saw the movie. It's just a great age for that. Much like, A Wrinkle in Time or those books, there are just certain books that you read around a certain age. And so I certainly felt like I grew up with Harry Potter, and the last movie came out when I was just finishing college, I think, or around there. And so it felt like this very important bookend to my life.
Yeah,
But yeah, the writing
totally.
is great. All of the clues and characters that she drops end up coming up down the line, either in this book or much later, where you're like, oh my God, they mentioned that wizard 5 books ago.
I have
offhandedly.
a question.
Okay.
Because I feel like in reading this, because I love the films, even the first one I think is a great kids movie.
I do too.
And I'm really loving this book so far, but I love the process of adaptation. I'm fascinated by it. I love when it's good, and I'm fascinated by when it's bad. I
Yeah.
love studying it, and I think that in itself is an art, and only
Yes,
only
I
certain
agree.
things that have been adapted are successful, and it's like, well, why? So I like
Because
to
you
look
have
at
to
that
make
stuff.
certain changes, you have to take
do.
certain things out. I will say, and you said you haven't rewatched the movies either, right?
No, I'm a one-time reader, one-time watcher, but soon to be two on both, because just like with Annihilation, I got in and
And you're
I'm
in.
all the way through. I read all
we need
three
to
of
talk
them.
about
I
the other
couldn't.
two books after this.
When you guys do, it sucks when you guys do the first of X, Y, Z something, because I'm like, I can't. I'm a completionist. When it comes
That's
to
actually
books.
the first one that I did that with because
We read the Dark Tower
we
book
did the Dark
one,
Tower, and
Wrinkle
that
in
one
Time
was
book
such a
one.
slog for me. I appreciated it, and I knew it got better, but I was like, no. And then Wrinkle in Time I meant to, and I didn't. Maybe I will after the movie.
Oh, the movie's going to re-energize me. I'll be like, I'm going to read book 2, 3, because I started book 2 and
And
then
I
kind
read
of
them as
stopped.
a kid, but I don't remember. I remember Calvin is more. There are different characters who come back. I remember little things.
I was the only person to say I'll read Giver book 2, and everyone was like, no, Hector, you're dumb. Stop. And I was like, all right, I'll still read all
Yeah,
those
you're
four
right.
books.
I actually
That's
didn't
true.
read Giver.
But I immediately got the second Annihilation book, just as an aside, which took me forever to read, and then I read the third one, which I liked more. But we should chat about it.
Yeah,
more.
we should. We should. I wound up
did-
enjoying everything, but yeah, we
Did
should.
book
talk.
2, did it really provide a whole different context? I think it was
Yes.
Decomp that
Well,
was saying it. Yes.
I look, when
a lot.
someone says it's going to turn it on its head, it's
Yeah.
going to give this whole context, part of me is thinking, great, I'm going to get some not only context but answers, and I blew the lid off of that, and instead, so I was a little disappointed with
But
what
three,
that was.
a little bit more.
3, I would say I'm 60% satisfied with the information that I got.
Okay.
Yeah, I would.
And that's pretty good considering.
I was
mean,
at 0% satisfaction.
I forget which book we've talked about, but that's always a kind of a point of contention, I feel like, too, with you, Amy. Sometimes you do crave information.
It
some
bugs me.
closure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, there's some pretty black and white stuff in Harry Potter.
Yeah, and what I was going to say was, in terms of adaptation, because I also love the Lord of the Rings movies and started reading the books, and I got halfway through Two Towers, and then, but in Fellowship,
There's a lot of dwarves in those
I met,
books.
I met
Thorin, Doran, Lauren,
Tom
Soren,
Bombadil.
Porin.
A lot of people love Tom Bombadil.
A lot of people
No.
do.
I very much dislike him,
No.
and I'm totally okay with cut him from any story because I felt like he didn't serve a purpose in that story. Now, this already I can tell is going to be more satisfying than a Lord of the Rings
Yes.
for obvious reasons.
Yes.
J.R.R. Tolkien was writing that in an exercise to write long. From the get-go, Jk Rowling is writing this, and she's like, I have the whole thing planned.
Yes,
and it
it's-
seems pretty obvious.
What I compare it to is writing a screenplay versus writing a TV show. The TV show, the way you pitch it, you pitch the world. And
Yeah.
hopefully hundreds of episodes can come from it.
Yes.
The way you pitch a screenplay is you pitch a beginning, middle, and end.
Yes.
It has to be truncated and done, which I prefer. I actually prefer watching TV shows because by the time you see it, it actually is pitched out and the story's broken. But these books are definitely the movie version of J.R. Tolkien's TV world pitch.
And it's interesting too because I feel like TV is following that path more now because of the success or failure or emotional reaction to shows that didn't necessarily have a plan, Lost, or
how dare you,
or even Battlestar Galactica, which I love, but like that ending is contentious.
Oh, I checked out of Battlestar Galactica when they started doing flashback stories, or that one flashback season. I was like, nope.
Is that 4?
Well, and do you think people also dislike the ambiguous ending of Sopranos?
No, that was important. No, I love the ending of Sopranos.
But that's the thing. It's like it's still very split.
I think it depends on how you do it.
Or
but then
Inception,
there's
the movie, like some people
like
love it and some people hate
where
it.
it meanders a little in the middle, but then the ending is very.
But here's the thing. That's still an ending. Like it's very binary, but it's satisfactory. The story has been told.
Right.
The story has been told to that point where it ends. But I don't think that's the same argument.
Maybe
at all.
it's more genre-heavy stuff too, where there's a mystery involved and things like that. Like 12 Monkeys is a show that I always recommend that's on Sci-Fi. It deals with I know it's really good.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
It takes a couple episodes to get out of the like scary thing, Monster of the Week style stuff.
Okay.
But you can tell by the end of the first season, they're like, oh, we have a real plan it gets real sci-fi real fast.
Speaking of Monster of the Week, I just have to ask, have you guys seen The Shape of Water?
Yes.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah, okay. I was afraid you were about to be like, it was cheesy.
I
cried. I loved it so much.
Yeah, there was anyway, that just is Monster of the Week. I was like, that, because when I actually didn't watch the trailer, and Guillermo del Toro, he definitely said like, this is my brainchild. This is what's going on in my weird brain. And I'm like, oh boy, this is going to freak me out. And like, instead it was a magical, transcendent,
it's harsh, but it's magical.
Romantic fucking.
It's super romantic.
I feel like if a Guillermo del Toro movie looks like a horror movie, chances are it's a gothic romance or a morbid fairy tale.
Yeah.
Just don't listen to the marketing.
Yeah.
Because it's usually, there are some that are scarier than others, but there's usually a sweetness to it because he is such a sensitive person.
He's
but anyway,
just a big, lovable Mexican guy.
I love him.
Here was my concern, my question to you guys, because you guys have read the rest of Harry Potter. I think I've come across the first Tom Bombadil, the first character, and I feel like maybe I'm wrong, and maybe Jk Rowling doesn't have Tom Bombadils.
You take that back.
But a character who didn't appear in the movies, that I'm like, anytime this character shows up, I'm like, oh, brother, and it's the ghost. Peeves. Does Peeves pay off is my question. Because as of right now, Peeves seems like a very, again, because I have no choice but to compare it with the movie, seems like a very sort of superficial, like, and now an obstacle for the 3 main characters.
No, it is not. He is not used as a direct conflict, like fire starter. But he is.
What were we supposed to read to?
Up to 10.
Up to not chapter 10,
through
but
9.
Through 9.
Okay.
What did you do?
Okay.
I remember the book, but I definitely didn't
That's okay.
complete the reading.
Oh, okay.
But I remember it. But I was just like, I don't feel like Peeves is
great. Well, then when Peeves shows up, you're it's okay.
But I've read it before.
No, but he's not
times.
used as a like any sort of big thing, so cutting him out is fine, but he's not a Tom Bombadil. He's not random. He shows up plenty of times,
and he's a character.
Yeah, I don't actually remember if you find out what happened to him or why he's a ghost.
You see, now part of that makes me put him in the category of Tom Bombadil because I feel like because Tom Bombadil, again, like you said, not a big deal.
I didn't say he's not a big deal.
Character with an arc that fits into the story in a way that makes sense.
Okay.
Yes, Tom Bombadil I could see is an outtake or an insertion of lore that just happens.
A character who Tolkien didn't quite go into the character's origin, is just kind
what
of
I want
there,
to
and
make
it's just,
you shy away from is looking for those types of things.
I wasn't looking.
It's not going to happen.
I wasn't looking, but I felt
Jk Rowling did a good job.
I'm glad and I'm hoping so for this, especially for this book, because it wasn't like I was looking for, but I just you couldn't help but like compare that this character is very much not in the movie up to this point, and every other character I feel like is in the film.
That happens with other characters down the line, and it also happens with in my opinion, portrayals of characters and plot lines.
I actually was afraid of one character that they did, and I knew they were going to put her in the movie, which was Madame Trelawney, and I was like, they better get this effing right, because that might be a Tom Bombadil, because this one's out of control. And then they did Emma Thompson, and it was like, yep.
I think the casting in this movie.
Oh, they're the best.
But that was one I was scared of.
Yeah.
There's a character who's introduced briefly in this book. She doesn't play into the story until the next book.
Ooh. Which character?
Ginny Weasley is a completely different character in them. I feel like they didn't realize that she would play into it as much. And I just, maybe it's the actress and how she does it, but I always felt like Ginny was one.
On that note, with kid actors, they got effing lucky.
They got very lucky.
With the main three. They got so lucky that those kids wound up being really, really talented.
You watch the movie Boyhood, and they didn't get super lucky with that little kid as he got older, being like a super strong actor, but like he was good. He did a good job.
Yeah.
Which
Boyhood,
one?
The movie Boyhood that actually took 10 years to film.
Oh, he was fantastic. That whole movie, that was
just
great.
too distracted by Ethan Hawke, who I love very deeply.
Here's my other disappointment in the book up to this point. I do have a disappointment.
Starting with disappointment?
Yes, because we can end with not
shame.
disappointments.
Okay.
Here's my disappointment. In the same way that the line, "Fly, you fools," isn't in Fellowship of the Ring when you read it. The line,
Harry, you're a wizard.
no, that's in it.
No, it's in it, but it's not.
It's not you're a wizard,
Oh, is it
Harry.
really?
It's Harry,
It's not-
you're a
it's
wizard.
Harry,
Oh,
you're a
I'm
wizard.
fine with that. That's
Okay, well, I
semantics.
thought that's what
Because
you
I
were
still
saying.
get that. Because I still
I
get
like
the,
that you knew that.
Yeah, because I still get that on the wall.
No.
It's fine. No, we
We
didn't get.
actually switch. The syntax of that whole piece is no.
We didn't get turn to page 394. We didn't get that from Alan Rickman, and that happens in the first movie, right? When they're in potions class?
Yeah.
Or does that happen later?
Yeah, but I think there's your adaptation thing, like to make a scene.
Yeah. No, and that scene is great, and it's in the book.
Yeah.
I can teach you how to bottle fame and brew glory,
But that's
whatever.
That's
Alan Rickman.
capturing magic.
I just wanted
of
that
Alan
line, that Alan Rickman line in the thing, but it's not. That was all Rickman.
Ooh,
It's all
there's a
Rickman.
line. Okay, I'm just trying to see. Okay, there is a line.
The Snape scene was great.
Safe scene was great.
So we
You
get
know,
through
I met Alan
Halloween.
Rickman once.
Wow.
Before, and he.
Did you cry?
I was smitten.
God.
Like, it was one of those things. He actually gave a speech, and he had the lowest. Like, his voice was really soft. Like, he didn't have a loud voice. It was it was in RADA. It was in London, and we were all having tea together. And he just stands up and starts talking, and the rest of us just turn and look. And his voice was probably about this loud, and he was doing his
Oh my
thing.
God.
And the thing he said was, it was like an arrangement. Isn't it lovely that we're all together? And he made a joke. He had if you met him, he had a huge head. His head was abnormally large.
Yeah.
And he made a joke about it, and then he said, "We're all just awkward bodies carrying around brilliant minds," and it was amazing.
Wait, what was this? What was the context for this?
You
I
went
you were just
to
hanging out with Alan Rickman?
Yes.
Having tea?
My
Having
teacher,
tea with Alan Rickman.
yes, my teacher wrote in acting school. My teacher had written a book that I had proofread and edited a little bit about voice, and she went to RADA and took me as her like apprentice basically, and then like
a
magic
Harry
on me.
Potter like. It's a really Harry Potter like.
It's very cool.
I've traveled the world. That's
Alan
cool.
Rickman.
I know, I forgot
Dang.
about that, but that was a cool thing.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Alan Rickman, weirdly, the two movies that I watched as a kid before the Harry Potter movies came out were Sense and Sensibility, also starring by and written by Emma Thompson, or adapted by, which won the Oscar for.
And she gave a
for adapted
speech
screenplay.
written in the Lizzie Bennett's voice.
I love Emma Thompson. Yes, yeah. Feeling
We should be best friends.
Yes, I know.
Wait, did you guys just become best friends?
We might have.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you want to go check out my drum set? Anyway.
Do you want to go check out her drum set?
I didn't know she had one.
Yeah, she does.
That's
Downstairs in the
awesome.
basement.
No,
cool.
It's in Nerdist basement. Rachel Heine just goes down there to. A lot of deadlines today. Heine's in the. She's down there. She's in the basement drumming away.
Who? No, I am not coordinated enough for that. But and then Dogma. My parents let me watch whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's amazing.
And I loved him from that. But I think the casting, besides some of the kids, obviously don't end up, which is fine.
It's fine.
They're
It's fine.
kids. It's cool.
Yeah.
But the casting of the adults
It's perfect.
is so incredible. McGonagall,
Amazing.
love her.
Maggie Smith.
There are
Maggie
so many.
Smith.
There are so many characters that I will never ever see.
Yes.
Not those-
differently.
those
Not
actors.
those actors.
Question for you and you. Dumbledore, Richard Harris or whatever his name is. Thank you, Michael Gambon.
I'm picturing Harris. I think was the one in the first movie, right? In the
Yeah.
first two. I am picturing him because I just watched it, and he has that real dry horse like.
Well, he's
You
much
know. You
just
more
watched it?
calm.
Yeah. I
need to watch it
I'm
again.
gonna watch it after I finish this
He is.
one. He's much more calm.
Michael
I think,
Gambon is more
and,
cash.
and
Yeah.
like grounded. And unfortunately, he passed away after the first movie. And I really
I
like.
think after the second
or the second movie.
He did the first two, yeah.
Oh, I never rewatched the second movie. 'cause
Oh. Didn't
it's
like
long.
it?
It's just so long,
It
and I
is.
didn't like it.
It is.
But we're talking about the book.
One
though.
casting that I will say in the book it happened again. I had an enormous crush, on Fred Weasley.
Yes.
Not George.
We talked about
Fred.
this last time.
You did?
Yes.
And
Why
when I
just
saw
Fred?
the movie, it was like in my mind they
They were
actually are hot. Like they're
Yes.
the hot,
Yes.
mischievous
Yes.
fuck-arounds
Yes.
that are bad boys, but
Yeah.
like they don't know
Interesting.
they're hot. They probably have freckles. There's
Yeah.
something about them that's like
Hot ginge.
hot ginge.
Yeah.
And
You know why? It's because- it's
like
because they're
the
confident.
Last Jedi, more like
Domhnall
that.
Gleeson.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And his papa is also Mad Eye Moody, Brendan Gleeson.
Is that true? Yeah. Oh my gosh, how
It's
about
because
that?
Fred and George in
But
the
in
books up
the-
to this point, it's because they're so confident. Because
Yes,
you're hearing
probably,
things in the
yeah.
book where they're like, where somebody's saying like nobody knows some secret ways out of Hogwarts except for Fred and George. Like they
Yeah.
probably already know it.
They're
and Fred and George,
smart.
they were gonna go meet up with somebody like so and so says that they
Lee
found another
Jordan.
way.
Yeah.
Lee Jordan says he found another way. It's probably behind the statue.
Yeah.
hot in
It's
my
weird
mind
to
and
say
when
this
he
because they're
grew-
kids now that I
know.
know what they
and
look
because
like.
you were like 12 when you read it. 'cause
Oh my
you were,
God! Yeah, and I actually, when I read the book, I was like, "Well, I'm a twin. I know that I have to find one of these twins more attractive than the other twin because that's how twins
Ooh,
work."
That's
why Fred?
fascinating
So I chose
to
Fred.
me.
So why? Just randomly?
It came down to they're so similar. They're written actually pretty identically, and I think there was a line of dialogue that I was like, I have to choose one. Oh, this guy made the punchline, and also I liked the name Fred about 10% more than I liked the name George.
I'll give you that.
That's it.
I think Fred gives you a little bit more options. You can be Frederick, which is kind of like classier and
Yeah,
sexier.
that's also
George
I was
is
a
like
big fan
George.
of Sound of Music, and there's a kid named Friedrich. And
Yeah,
I
Friedrich.
like always
yeah.
liked that.
Whereas
Yeah.
George is like George
Friedrich.
Costanza. You're like, all right,
George
of the Jungle though, who's hot though.
No, fuck
Brendan
yeah.
Fraser.
Yeah. Oh, that's my man. Brendan Fraser is like my go-to hot guy.
Well, if you were, you would know his last name is pronounced Fraser, not Frazier.
Did I say Fraser?
You did.
Okay. I actually
That's all
did know that, but
I know. I believe you.
I actually did know
Because
that.
you're obviously a big phrase head, like me. So.
Friedrich Fraser.
So,
Yes.
so in this section, so you were disappointed by those parts, but I will say.
And when I say that it's dumb, it just means that like I love Snape in this scene.
Yeah,
And I would have loved
100%.
that Alan Rickman-esque line, but like you watch the movie and there's a lot of it that seems like, oh, this is kind of exaggerated and could be from the perspective of Harry, who's 11.
Yeah.
Could be from the perspective of a kid who is kind of seeing adults as these big scary things. But
I feel like
JK,
they
she
capture that.
she
Yeah,
captures it, but she
she
also
does.
like kind of justifies when Harry says, no, he straight up hates me, the way that this teacher is treating Harry and picking on him.
Yeah.
Yes.
And little hints here and there that
no,
like maybe
he is.
he picks on him.
Yeah.
In a way that
And-
Harry doesn't understand, but what Snape is saying, I get it. Where I'm like, oh, he's picking on him because of this reason. Now we don't know the real reason,
Right,
but it's
right.
like, oh, because he's famous, and he's thinking that Harry is this kid who doesn't have to work hard, and he's frustrated by overachiever, so he keeps telling Hermione to put her hand down, and I'm like,
But
that
it
makes sense.
really sucks when you have a teacher like that. I definitely have had teachers like that.
Yeah.
And
abuse their power.
and who also just don't get weird kids also, or like
Yeah.
overachieving kids, where it's like they want you to do this thing, and even if you're I think I liked Fred and George too because they got good marks and they were smart, but they fucked around because they were like, well, this is a waste of time. And I feel
Yeah.
like I definitely got that, but also teachers who are like, just do what the reading is, and it's like, just do the theory that we came up with instead of
Yeah.
asking questions and thinking about things. I'm thinking of one teacher in particular.
But look at you now.
But I can say whatever I want about this book.
Yeah.
Miss,
Public
oh, I forgot her
record
name.
on
She
the
always got my
internet.
name wrong too. But
Good. Forget her name.
But I love this because, again, it uses the first person entering the world and the sense of wonder when you're in Diagon Alley and when you go to
Awesome.
to Hogwarts. And I feel like the movie really, really captures that. Things
does.
popping out of
Yes.
places, the grand scale of that. But two, I said A and then two, but I just went to Harry Potter World over the break.
Oh my God.
And I almost cried when I walked in. And it gives you that feeling
Yeah.
of
Yes.
like wonder and magic. And I got a wand, and we have some other wands here. This is my
Yes.
spooky wand.
What? Who's
yeah.
that?
Mine.
Custom wand, or is it a character's
It's the
wand?
Ollivander's wand. It is. It is the. I think you don't get many choices with the.
Did you
the
get
sense in it.
picked?
No, because here's my thing with Harry Potter World. It is as magical to me as the 8-year-old standing in front of me.
Yes.
However,
Oh, yeah, kids suck sometimes.
when you're going up there to like do the thing to the thing, basically, like for instance, maybe a window in a bookshop is just stationary, and then you go and do the spell, and the pot lights up and starts bubbling, and the book flies from here to there, all because you did this thing. Well, there's a line where you have to wait to do the spell, and it is 8-year-olds and me, and then a 14-year-old, and I'm like, this is as magical to me, but I know it looks like I'm taking fun away from kids because
Yeah.
I'm waiting in line, and
It's
also
weird.
this
Yeah, we
isn't
didn't wait
cool
in
because you
line
have to
for
wait
that.
for the thing to calm down before you do it again, and you're like, I guess I did it. And then it was really bad because the first time I did it, they have these like spell things of how you do it, and one of them was like, you go like down and then around or whatever, and I went down and around, and I was gonna do it, and they're like, it needs to be smaller than that, and I looked like such a doofus, and it was like this, and oh god, it was just to me, I was the 15-year-old kid who had read it, and to everyone else, I'm a 32-year-old woman. You know?
Yeah. We didn't stay in a lot of the line stuff, but we went through Diagon Alley, and I found all the stuff, and I was like, oh, it's where the Peter cauldrons are. And
So cool.
But I love that world, and I also felt it's crazy reading this now, even though I reread it through high school and a little bit of college. I haven't read it in years. And the scene in what's the robes? Madame Malkin's. Thanks, Erin. Where, yeah, isn't it cool?
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's cool. T-Boy's just showed up in the chat. He says, I'm late. Are we talking wands? We talking wands?
We talking
okay,
wands.
great. How to cast spells.
So those are the motions that you
Oh,
make.
wow.
And
That's cool.
so, number one, I picked this, and I went around the whole Ollivander's like 5 times because I was like, I can't pick this because I know it's a Death Eater wand, and I don't want to get it. But I just loved it so. I looked at every other one, and I was like, this one is calling to me.
It is.
I choose, and it was mismarked. And when I got it, I was like, I don't think this is it. It was marked as the Elder Wand, which is not like that. It's
Oh
shaped
my god,
totally different.
Ollivander would never.
I know, and so I bought it, and I was like, okay, good. It's not a Death Eater wand. I don't. And then I was looking at it, and someone was like, "Isn't the Elder Wand like pretty simple?" And I was like, "Yes." And then I realized that it was
that's
the
a
wrong
crazy
one
story.
because I thought, okay, Elder Wand. It depends on how you use it.
Yeah.
But that's true of any wand.
Yes.
Which we learn in Diagon Alley, and then also the scene where Malfoy, before he knows who Harry Potter is, when he talks to him. And is like, he's talking to him about people who come from Muggle families and people who don't have money, and Harry feels like horrible. I had something happen to me like that when I transferred schools in high school. I was in 10th grade, and my first day I like shadowed this girl, and it was a private school, and I was there on scholarship, and everyone there had like Beamers and stuff. And I shadowed this girl, and then she brought me out to lunch with her friends, and they went to a sushi place. And I was very shy, and everything about it made me very nervous. And I was just super quiet and was just kind of like, I'm just lucky to be here. Some of these girls are gonna just take me to this lunch. It's a sushi lunch. Oh my God, how cool. And I remember the bill coming and me being like, oh no. And like pulling my allowance and pretending like, okay, that's, And then we were driving back in I think she had a Range Rover or something. This one girl, she was terrible. And we drove by a Goodwill, and there were a couple of people outside the line that were like it was in Santa Monica, and there were like teenagers going there, and she was like, some of the kids at school think it's cool to shop at Goodwill, like being like da 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 da, and I was literally wearing like a Hulk t-shirt from Goodwill, and I was just like, and it made me feel so small and terrible.
Yep.
And now as an adult, I'm like, fuck that girl.
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
all of that. Like, it's so dumb. But that moment where he's just like, oh my God. And this whole section where he's like, what if the Sorting Hat just tells me to go home?
Oh my
what if what if there's a test and I don't know what to do? And it's just, I loved it. I really identified with that.
Yeah.
And the moment has arrived because I mentioned the Sorting Hat, and when you mentioned the Sorting Hat, you have to get sorted. So we're gonna sort our houses right now.
Guys, I just cast all the spells. All of them.
All right.
That's fun.
Java Bookie Girl said, throws up Protego charm. Hector, watch where you're pointing your wand because you were pointing it at the chat.
Sorry,
I'm gonna
guys.
go in here.
Okay, so go ahead, log in. There's been a poll up on the Alpha Twitter that will run until 6:50. What house do you think Hector will get in? Everyone guess. I think Gryffindor.
I think
Oh,
I'm gonna do this wrong because I don't know Harry Potter very well, and I'm gonna get like Slytherin or something.
That would be so funny.
That would be really funny.
That would be so funny. So I'm excited to take this again. There are 4 houses, which we learned in this section.
Should I just go?
Yeah, go ahead.
The Sorting Hat.
Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin.
Okay, so question is forest or river? Okay, Amy's
Oh,
taking it
nice.
right
You
now.
can see it on the screen.
Okay.
So Gryffindor, the Gryffindor, people who are sorted into Gryffindor are usually brave. Ravenclaw
Look at that.
are smart. Oh yeah, we have our beautiful board, murder board, now Hogwarts board. Sorting ceremony board.
Technically, also could still be a murder board. The Hogwarts board is a murder board. 'cause
People
get
do
killed.
die. People do die.
Every year at that school, people get killed.
So we have Gryffindors are brave, determined, bold, and chivalrous. Famous Gryffindors include Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, Hermione Granger, Minerva McGonagall, and Albus Dumbledore.
Oh wow, that's like all stars.
That is that's the
It's like
cool.
unfair.
It's the cool.
It's like unfair.
the cool one. Hufflepuff, which people used to make fun of all the time, and I'm glad to see a resurgence of support
Okay.
for Hufflepuff. Because
Okay.
why wouldn't you like a Hufflepuff? They're patient, kind, and tolerant. They're real sweethearts.
What I call Hufflepuff is the true nerds of the nerds. The nerds who don't nerd out to be known. They're just people who are like, I genuinely am here to have a good time, and I dig this. So,
Yeah.
so I look how I look. I behave how I behave. Do you like this thing? I also like this thing too. Let's chill.
Let's talk about it. Yeah. Famous Hufflepuffs include Cedric Diggory, who comes up later. Newt Scamander, who is
Cedric Diggory is he Twilight guy?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Twilight guy.
Newt Scamander is Fantastic
Newt
Beasts and Where to Find
Scamander
Them.
is Fantastic Beasts. Susan Bones, Professor Sprout.
Professor Sprout's come up so far in the story, but
Susan
not
Bones
Susan
hasn't
Bones,
yet.
right? Okay.
Yes. Ravenclaw.
What's Ravenclaw?
They are intelligent, clever,
So they're like cool, nerdy people?
and creative. I don't know. They're like more academic nerds, I guess. They really like school. I feel like everyone we tweeted about it last week, and a lot of people in Alpha Book Club are Ravenclaw.
They're Ravenclaw, okay.
Famous Ravenclaws include Cho Chang, Luna Lovegood, yes, what? Professor Trelawney, also dope.
Professor Trelawney, isn't that Kenneth Branagh?
No, Professor Trelawney is Emma Thompson.
Oh, okay, she's great, she's great. Who's Kenneth Branagh?
He is Professor Lockhart.
Lockhart,
He
that guy
shows
was
up
a
in the next
douche.
book.
Yeah.
He's the best.
He's really
Yeah.
funny. He's like, honestly, Kenneth Branagh he's the best part of that movie, in my opinion. He does such a good job. Lockhart.
He does.
And then we have Slytherin, who are cunning and ambitious.
Oh no!
Oh, what? This is crazy.
Is this your first time you've ever gotten sorted into Ravenclaw?
Yes, I've been Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Gryffindor, and now Ravenclaw. I don't
Interesting.
disagree. I just I'm so confused
Congratulations.
now. Thank you.
The Sorting Hat would sort you into a different house no matter what. Yeah, so I used to get Gryffindor.
Oh, that's so weird.
No, I used to get Ravenclaw, which I feel like I like. And I want to say it makes sense, because then you're like,
And I know Slytherin because I've been pitched like the good qualities of Slytherin. My only beef with Slytherin.
Well, then I started, as soon as I started working here
You started
around
to get Slytherin?
known Slytherin Kyle Hill.
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
I
that makes
started
sense.
getting Slytherin.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
But they're cunning, ambitious, resourceful, and self-preserving, which I understand.
Self-preserving. Yikes.
But like, what if you have to?
Well, the thing is once
It's
you
how
get to
you use
Hogwarts,
it.
you don't have to. Like, you have to
What
be
if
a
you
student in a student body.
What if you have? Yeah, I know.
That's so. My only beef with Slytherin is like within the
But
fictional
Merlin's
world.
on there. They're not
In
all
Slytherin?
bad. Yes.
Cool.
Merlin, also Voldemort, and Professor Snape and Malfoy. But
Yeah. My only thing is, it's again the first line that's in the book to set up the world. The first line that's in the movie, Ron or whoever it is, says to Harry, no one who was ever like a bad wizard didn't come from Slytherin. So my only beef is like,
isn't- but
Hogwarts,
isn't-
just be aware of that and just assign more counselors there.
But I
that's it.
think okay, that's
That's it.
fine. That's fine.
that's
but
also from the point of view, much like Malfoy's version of the Weasleys, is that they're, you know, he says that they're too poor for all their kids and
Yeah,
other
it's
horrible
also-
things. It
it's
sounds like
also-
rumors and prejudice against each other
It's
to me.
also an 11-year-old's point of view, which is way more binary and black and white. Which, yeah, maybe somebody actually said that to him, but you would latch on to that. Whereas as an adult, you would be like, I'm gonna wait for before I generalize.
Yeah.
But ugh.
Are we ready for Hector to take this quiz?
my
Or
gosh.
should I go first?
Ravenclaw.
I think I have to
Oh
go
yeah,
first
yeah,
'cause
yeah.
the
Wait,
poll-
that's
the
right. That's
poll-
right. Yeah,
Okay,
you're.
okay,
This is
6:50.
Slow your roll.
I'm sorry.
Hector.
I'm trying to get sorted. I'm trying to be a
So,
Slytherin immediately.
with the wands. I went
do you
through
want me to,
all of
do you want to
Vander,
swap seats?
I think it'll.
and
It'll travel?
they have these people
I don't know.
who interview you.
Oh, thank you,
And they like, and they're
Hector.
awesome. They're like definitely trained effing. They're
Like
dressed
psychologists?
like, well, yeah, or
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, obviously they're park workers, but they're trained to like talk to you about what wands you like, and they ask you these questions and this and that. And we went through every wand, and he'd open it the way that you
I love
expect,
it.
like, and they're piles. It's amazing.
Oh, I don't ever use a
these
PC.
things, these little things, fit
Yeah,
on the
same.
walls like shoe boxes, and fill walls. It's incredible, and they've got the thing on the end of them. It's magical. I went in there about 10 different times just looking at how perfect it was.
Sorry, I had to create a new email because I've already done this before, and I need to verify my email, I guess. I'll do that real quick.
Can you do? Okay, go ahead and do that. We got time.
It's not.
Should
Yeah,
we
you
look
guys
at
keep talking.
Should we look at Maud's video?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yes.
could be mod time.
Maud has sent us a video of her process of getting sorted into a hat. Let's play this video. I want to see it. Let's take a look.
Hi Alpha Book Club, it's Maude here. Totally bummed that I'm missing the sorting hat experience because I would have loved to have done the test in front of everyone so that everyone can see that I am officially in Gryffindor house. But I have done every iteration of this test. I have done about 7 online versions. I've done the initial Pottermore one, and then I created a brand new account and they changed the algorithm, and I may have gone Slytherin, but we don't ever talk about that. I'm a Gryffindor through and through. Just like Harry sitting there with the sorting hat on his head, I too was saying Gryffindor, Gryffindor, Gryffindor. And even if the sorting hat is Gryffindor, hey, I would have done great things with Slytherin, great things indeed.
That's really good.
I still
See what
believe
she did with her lip? That's really
100%
good.
that I am Gryffindor. The odds are stacked in that favor. So that's me, Gryffindor through and through, and I can't wait to keep reading the book and be back next week. Bye guys.
Oh, nice.
Amazing.
That's a good pitch.
That was really good.
really
Okay, I'm
good.
verifying
Totally.
my Pottermore account.
She totally got Slytherin. Well, that's awesome. Good for her.
I
That's great.
think
Oh my
what it means for me is that I'm just a really good actor, and when the sorting hat is on, it's like, well, which persona of Amy are we
That makes
getting?
that makes I do feel like I feel nervous when I take these tests because you're like,
Do you think
well, I
there's a lot
don't
of truth
know.
behind it? Because it seems like I'm sure a lot of it is pulled from classic sort of like personality tests.
Oh yeah, sure.
So do we buy into
do
the
you guys
personality
know what your
tests?
Myers-Briggs personality
Yes,
I
is?
did
I
it, but
wrote
I
it
forgot it.
down. I
Yeah.
actually have it on my phone.
I did it, but I forgot it. I'm sorry. I'll do it later. I forgot.
So
I've done
before
it.
I take this quiz, I'm an INFP, and they are the mediators, and that's Luna Lovegood. So I like that. Okay, I'm taking this quiz.
Look up what I
Dawn or dusk?
According to DeMarco
Dusk.
Draws, the Avengers or the X-Men are Gryffindor. The Fantastic Four are Ravenclaw. The Guardians of the Galaxy are Hufflepuff.
Oh.
And the X-Force, which kill people, are Slytherin.
Oh no,
So
I'm
that might be
the
pretty accurate.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
cool.
All right.
Ooh,
I
I
am.
don't know.
I am.
What happened?
ENFJ.
The power.
The power of this?
No. The power to. I just don't know what to choose.
Oh, I see. She's doing it right now. Okay, great.
I am
Once every
ENFJ.
century-
Apparently, Aaron is too, but I actually would argue I'm definitely introverted That's the E or the I, and I would.
I would disagree with
definitely
that.
argue.
I'd say you're extroverted.
Yeah, well, you know this
True.
version of me,
That's true.
which like when the cameras are off, I'm like, everyone stay away. Like I
Yeah.
deleted my Instagram.
I know.
Like there are things that I'm just like, just please like stop, you know. But
I would still say
ENFJ.
that maybe overall I think you're still an extroverted person because you could still go to a place where if you go to work, you know to turn it on. I'm going to be on a show right now.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
that's something that not everybody has and not everybody is interested in doing. So you can at least do that.
That's true. That's true.
Did you
Can
click
I
the
go
wrong thing?
back?
I'm the protagonist. That's
I
what
missed
ENFJ is.
one.
You missed
do
one?
I-
You accidentally clicked one?
Yes.
Can we go back on this thing, guys? No, is this forever?
No!
Oh, are you going to get Slytherin?
What?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Keep going.
I would take.
Here's the thing about the Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin.
It's
is
the PC's fault.
You, whatever house you get in, that's kind of like your color. So when I was Hufflepuff, I had to. The
You
things
wore
I
yellow?
bought were yellow.
Come on, Amy, you
Well,
didn't have to do
and
that.
I didn't always wear yellow, but I have that yellow coat. There are things.
Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw! All right.
So we got two Ravies.
I will say that the last time I took it, I've only been employed as a full-time writer for
Yeah.
like a year and a half. Every other time it's
Interesting.
been like
You've
employed as
changed.
lots of different
Yeah.
things, you know, actor included.
So we got two Ravy babies. Now it's
Ravy
my turn.
babies.
Do we
I'm so
go? Is it?
relieved.
We got to wait like 7 minutes.
Okay.
Why?
Because the thing goes on at 6:50. The
Amy,
poll is over
what's
at
your
6:50.
Myers-Briggs?
ENFJ, I just looked it up, that is the
Extroverted.
protagonist.
Something.
Extroverted,
Ooh.
blah, 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 blah.
I think whenever I got
just gonna
mine,
look this up.
I think mine was the protector, maybe. If there's
Hector the
Daughter.
Protector.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's what Hector means. That's what Hector means. That's
Does
why,
it?
I'm gonna look
That's
it
why
up.
in Sylvester and
I'm gonna
Tweety,
look up what it is.
Okay.
the dog's name is Hector because he
Myers-Briggs,
protects
the
Prince
Protector.
Sylvester.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's actually kind of
You
cool.
are
Name psychology. It's real. It's all real.
INFJ.
Me?
You are?
INFJ, the Protector.
See? There you go.
So I'm gonna look up and
yeah.
tell
You're
you which
introverted.
characters that you guys
Yeah, don't
are
talk to me.
because it was on
I deleted my
Bustle.
Facebook off my phone.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
the going.
I'm
Of, are you
introverted. I
extroverted
deleted
or
my
introverted?
Facebook.
Well, what
I
social
do
media is
that
on your phone?
and then I put it back on because I'm like, oh yeah, I need this for work.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we said INFJ. Let me find that. INFJ. Remus Lupin, who I love.
I got Lupin?
Mhm.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a really good one. And what's
ENFJ.
He's the werewolf guy. He's cool.
Wait.
Dumbledore?
Hell yes.
Wow, cool.
But Dumbledore's Gryffindor, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm
Well, it's
Ravenclaw.
more
but-
character based than house based.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Yep.
So and
Well, I would be
INFJ is
Ravenclaw's Gryffindor.
Yeah, there you go.
And Hufflepuff, I guess.
INFJ is Luna Lovegood, who I love.
Is that you?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Wait, you're INFJ. Are you INFJ?
Or no, INFP.
INFP. Gotcha.
Perceiving.
Luna's awesome.
Yeah.
What
Luna
are those
is
words? What do
And
those
I
letters
think-
stand for?
Introverted, nurturing. So it's introverted, extroverted, nurturing, thinking, feeling,
Or
something.
intuiting, I think. No.
Yeah, and
Juicy. is the last
judging,
one.
perceiving.
Judging.
I think.
Oh, I'm judgy.
But it's not in a
am.
bad way.
I am.
I love those types of things for
Yeah.
for personality tests.
I agree. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
think that
kinda
there's
cool.
something that we should you shouldn't like base like
Big decisions on.
big decisions on it,
No,
but I
no,
think
no.
it's so great to have that kind of insight into
You know
your own
what's,
personality.
what I actually
Yeah.
think it's useful for is it's usually a test of how you see yourself.
Yeah,
And
it
how
is.
you deal with things. So if you
Yeah.
know
It
what
is.
other people's Myers-Briggs are, then you can communicate with them better.
It's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like the way tarot
if you know
readings are
someone's
like,
more
You could be
introverted.
going down this path. You have the option to not do that.
Yeah.
But you're doing this right now.
Well, like, no, if you look up about these things and, like, say it says that, like, you value honest, you know, those kind of things, then you can, so maybe I am, because I feel like trying to figure out how to communicate with people in a good way is something I'm super interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you know how people think and feel and what that, if they like logic more or feelings more and all
you
those
can
things,
appeal
you
to.
can
Yeah.
talk to them in the
Are-
language that they use.
I actually don't know this. Our personality test, can you like match them together and be like, are these like good
I'm sure
business
you-
partners or,
I'm sure
or,
you
know,
can.
romantic partners? Okay,
Yeah,
that's
because if you're like all the sensitive ones, spoiler alert, then like all the judging, you know, like
we're gonna be crying a lot together
when we're hanging out all the time as best friends.
That's good to
yeah,
know.
exactly. Well, I'm an extrovert
We're
apparently.
very close.
You go on a date and you bring a tissue box and they're like, "Oh, what's that for?" And you're like, "You'll see. We're gonna cry a lot
Yeah.
right now."
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna log out.
So you guys have as a house ghost the Gray Lady. The house founder was Rowena Ravenclaw. Yeah, pretty good. You guys are intelligent, clever, and creative.
Also,
yeah, I'll give you
blue
that.
is my best color, so
Yeah.
I'm not mad about
Pretty
that.
good.
Now I can start buying blue
I'm
shit.
glad.
So weird. It's so weird that I've gotten everything but Slytherin.
You guys look good in red too. Red's your color too.
Thanks.
You guys have both rocked a lot of red. Is it time? Is it time?
It's time. Let's
Time.
do it.
Let's see. What is this?
Okay.
Go, Hector,
Me log
go.
in.
Excited to watch.
Let me get my email.
Max is an INFP too. Yeah, we're sensitive.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh crap! What was my password? Hang on. Oh, okay.
Oh, I want to
remember.
read with the wand. So I went through all that interview process at
yeah.
Ollivander's, and this is the wand I landed on. It
So
is-
did you get picked?
I didn't get picked, but when you go into the other room, a child got picked, of course.
Well, yeah.
They take all the fucking fun away.
It was the best though. I watched this little boy in a little baseball cap. And he went up. It was just like it was.
It
and I
is
don't
pretty
like kids,
magical, but like
it
part of me was always like, just pick me. I'll be good. I'll be good at this. But you go in that room, and there are these park workers, but they interview you and they talk to you and they
Well,
like
I'm gonna have to
and
get
they
another
like they
wand.
like open these boxes for you and they're like, is this the one? And they're like, well, would you choose to go and play like soccer in the field, or are you more of a stay by the fire and read kind of person? And you answer these questions and they're like, yes, then I have the one for you. And it's like stuff like that. It's very cool. So this Ivy one we landed on. I got so many different options. But this one, it's Ivy Wood, is associated with tenacity, stamina, and endless patience. I don't know about that. But Ivy people are strong and determined. They set goals and achieve them. That is my set goals and achieve them is me ultimately. Ivy people should take care that their ability to easily overcome obstacles does not lead them unwittingly into ever more challenging situations.
Ooh, but that sounds fun.
So I love this very much. I also was very close to getting a different wand, I remember, and I looked at it and I said it's a little too fancy. Like there was a little too much going on, and as you can see, the entire length of the stem, there is nothing going on. It's just wood. They have some decorations here and a little pommel, and other than that, it's just a plain old wooden ivy wand. So that's
I'm very upset because I feel like, well, it was so crowded in there that I was like, I have to get out of here, but because crowds freak me out. But
INFP.
I want to be inside. But if I had known that talking to a stranger would get me a more curated experience, I would have done it. But they were like, "Can we help you?" And I was like, "No, I'm fine. Thank you. I just want to go through this thing." If I had known that they were going to quiz me, I would have
highly
100%
recommend.
done it. Well, one of my friends was, oh my God, did you just get?
I didn't got anything. I'm trying to figure out my pet that I would take. This is hard. Between a cat, an owl, and a toad.
Wait, is that what you got? I got
feel-
types of cats.
Well, yeah, types of cats, but within like those are their
there's
three
no- yeah.
animals. And I'm like, look, I'm trying not to let the real world influence this. I'm trying to
Yeah,
put
it's
myself in the
magic.
mind. It's magic, but like, I don't interact with toads and owls that much, so I'm leaning towards cat. But I'm like, is that more accurate to my personality?
I actually am allergic to cats, so I was like, well, I can't answer
You can't,
that.
yeah. But I'm like, harlequin toad, three-toed tree toad.
That's the one I chose because I like the wordplay.
Yeah.
It's good.
Between cats, I know which one I'd pick because I think it's cool. I think I just have to pick that one. But then I'm like, but then I know what the connotations are. You're gonna pick a black cat? Oh, that's evil. Aren't you gonna get Slytherin?
No, I picked black. Yeah, I picked
Okay.
black cat.
Snow owl.
Yeah, I
Owls,
almost did because I love Hedwig.
Yeah. Oh man. This is so bizarre. I actually am a little shaken because I haven't fit into any of them. The only one I've gotten twice is Gryffindor, which I enjoy. But getting two others
Yeah, it's weird.
throughout your life,
But
it's
in
confusing.
the book,
Who
they
am
could
I?
go either way. Also, Lost the Numbers. I will go if you are looking for people to go with because I need to
I
go
want
back.
to go as well, and I
We
told
should
my
just do
family
an office
we should.
trip.
The thing about it is, Universal Studios is enormous, and you will spend the full 6 hours you're
Yeah.
there in Harry Potter world,
Yeah.
which is what I call it, even though I know it's called
Yeah,
Wizarding
something
World
else of
Harry Potter.
I took my friend who was visiting and she hadn't ever been, so we did do Jurassic Park. which is
Yeah.
the most roller coaster I will
that-
ever do.
Oh, really?
Yes. I'm afraid of heights. I get scared on the Dumbo ride at Disneyland.
That's adorable.
I'm mocked about it still, and it happened 6 years ago.
I will say I am not the roller coaster mogul I used to be, because we went on Super Bowl Sunday to Six Flags, and after 6 rides, I was you just get this headache where you're like, what?
yeah.
My body does
a
not
lot.
process this well.
I
I'm
think-
just I mean,
I think
I
the
get
best
into
ride-
the ch-ch-ch.
Oh,
is-
yeah?
I'm done.
I think the best theme park for
Can't do
rides
it.
is Disneyland. I think
Yes.
their most roller coastery ride is Screaming California, but it doesn't really
I can't-
have that too much. It's
not
still
for me.
great.
Space
I love
Mountain.
it. Space
I
Mountain's
can
great
do
too.
Space Mountain, although it freaks me out because I've seen it once with the lights on.
Yeah, don't do that. It's too scary.
And
Oh,
I'm
and
so
you're
tall.
like this close to like
Yeah.
yeah.
And
You
so
are
now
very
when
tall.
I do it, I'm like this. Because people put their arms up and I'm like, you're gonna lose it, which they wouldn't, but
Yeah.
Guys, I'm about to figure out my Potter house.
So Twitter thought that you would be Ravenclaw.
Really?
Oh, I hope you're Ravenclaw, and we're all 3 Ravenclaws today.
You
That
know
would
what?
be
It would be awesome to go to Ravenclaw with my 2 best friends to walk in that. Let's see what I get. Here we go. Oh
Of course you're
God
Hufflepuff.
damn it.
Of course you're Hufflepuff.
This is bullshit.
No,
This is
of course
fucking
you are.
bullshit.
It makes so much sense.
no!
It
You're
makes
full of
so
shit,
much
Jk
sense.
Rowling. You're full of shit.
No, it makes
This
so
is
much
dumb. What, I got a
sense.
fucking mongoose? What is this thing? What is this?
A badger. It's a badger.
Oh, badger.
Oh,
Cool.
yeah, it is cool.
No,
Barf.
Hufflepuffs are really great. You know who's one of my favorite Hufflepuffs IRL?
Cedric Diggory.
IRL. Amy Radcliffe.
Oh, yeah, she's great.
She's the
great.
greatest.
Yes.
She's great.
Hufflepuff pride, man.
Yeah, I'm a Hufflepuff.
At
Sell me
least-
on this Hufflepuff thing. Why? How else are they cool?
They care about people.
They're really, they're very genuinely caring, sweet,
And they don't care
thoughtful
about-
people.
All right, fine.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
T-Boys is like, I was right.
I think they might.
Man.
I
Are you
don't
a
know that
Hufflepuff?
they will ever be
Steven, are
president,
you a
but they would
Hufflepuff?
be
I
like
wish.
vice
The
president.
advisor. Yeah.
Yep, chancellor all
Okay.
the time.
This is.
Yeah. Gryffindor, honestly, I've moved from as a kid. I was like, gotta be Gryffindor. Can't be Slytherin. Hufflepuffs are lame, Ravenclaws are whatever. And I was like, but now as an adult, I feel like Gryffindor is the cool kids, which
Yeah.
I am not inclined
Yep.
to be a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ravenclaw is like, they like to read, so I'm on board. Slytherin knows how to get shit done, which I can appreciate, but Hufflepuffs are truly the best of them all.
Here was my takeaway. Like, Conan O'Brien's a Gryffindor, but Andy Richter's the Hufflepuff.
100%.
And Andy Richter is so good at being a number 2 man. He's so good at propping other people up and making them look
Yep.
funny
In
and
fact,
making them.
yeah.
That's
Absolutely necessary.
yes, it
Sometimes
is.
being the hero, A, comes with a heavy weight, and B, comes with arrogance and other things, and that comes into play a lot actually in Harry Potter.
I would
Yeah.
often, before I read any of the books, but after I saw the movies, I would often talk about, like, if I went to Hogwarts or the North American school or the South American
No,
school,
you
whatever
wanna
the
go to
Western
Hogwarts.
Hemisphere, that's fine, whatever. If I go to Hogwarts and I'm like the American kid in Hogwarts, I would just be the kid in the background while like the couple of kids are always getting wrapped up into the same
That's
sort of
Hufflepuff.
dangerous bullshit, and I'm just like, I'm just trying to learn my spells,
Yeah.
dude. I'm not
Yeah,
trying to.
that's Hufflepuff.
I
You
also
know,
think, I
I'm
mean,
just trying
while
to
Gryffindor,
graduate.
every one of them, tries to do the right things, but I think Hufflepuff is the most driven by morals and ethics.
Yes, I would agree with that.
You guys, you did
It does make sense.
You sold me on
It
it.
does make sense.
It makes sense.
It's really good. Oh my God, we're already done.
Wow.
I'm so upset. I'm sorry. We talked about a lot of stuff, but not enough. Let's keep talking about it on Twitter. Are you guys down?
Yeah,
Keep
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
it. And
I'm
in the
into it.
forums, on Project Alpha, you can join the forums and we can talk there. Anyone who can't tune in live can actually watch the VOD on Alpha and then come to the forums, and it's really fun to chat with
Yes.
everyone.
Cool.
That's rude. Here's your homework. I saw that.
What did it?
Here's our homework this week. This is not from me. This week we're gonna reread 6 through 10 and actually talk about it next week. Rude! JK, read up until the end of chapter 13. Stop at the beginning of chapter 14. Norbert the Norwegian Ridgeback. Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh, man.
Look, we got excited.
This was the sorting
Yes.
episode. We had to
We
sort.
We had to sort.
I'm
had to
so
sort
happy I
ourselves.
was able to.
Sorted the episodes better in the Quidditch. and
Sorter's got sort.
You also did, Rachel,
We should have just done it by
you also did a sorted job of reading last week.
I think it reinforces that we'll be doing
like
the second
sorted.
book pretty quickly.
Yeah, don't forget, we're on Goodreads.
The idea.
Come talk about books with us there and recommend all the thrillers and sci-fi because I want to read more of them. We're always looking for new books, so please send us your recommendations to @Nerdist, @Geek and Sundry, @Join Team Alpha with the hashtag Alpha Book Club,
What are
or
we gonna
any
read
of the
next month?
discussion.
What are we gonna read?
I hope that we just keep reading Harry Potter.
Oh, nice.
We're gonna mix it up and read another book, but then maybe we're gonna read more Harry Potter.
Ooh.
Oh my
And I'm
gosh.
very excited. Amy, thank you so much for joining us. It is
Yay.
always so
Yes,
much
thank
fun
you
to
for
have
having
you
me.
on
I love
board.
it so much.
Come anytime. Thank you guys so much.
I want to throw in, if you go to The Verge, they actually have a really good list of sci-fi books you need to be reading this year.
Nice.
Ooh.
Awesome.
Yeah, sci-fi and fantasy.
I love a Ravenclaw helping a Ravenclaw.
Yep, I got you.
Nice.
And Hector, actually, before
Hufflepuffs!
we have a list of books that you should read this year in advance of movies and TV shows that are being adapted, which feels like
I
it's
will
made
look at
for
that
you.
list and put up those books away to read after I watch the movies and TV shows. Yeah. I will do that.
Oh, what I did, you know what I did do was read Harry Potter with the soundtrack.
Did you
Yes, I did.
actually?
Bye.
John Williams soundtrack. Read it. It's the John Williams
so good.
soundtrack.
It was so good.
I'll participate
It's
in
the
this
best.
conversation.
Yeah. More fives.
Yeah,
more
sure,
fives.
sure.
Bye.
Bye.